Hey everybody, welcome to Country Girl with Kathy Jarvis. And I did a thing the other week. I made a big order on Amazon. Now we've had this little fish pond out front for a good 20-25 years or more. I mean, it started out nothing more than a hole dug in the ground with the black plastic tarp in it and the fish inside. And eventually we decided to go ahead and put a one of those rubbery pre-made ponds in, and that has been wonderful. It's lasted for a long time, knock on wood. But when I started it, I just had a simple little filter, and the filter's been working good. It was just a biofilter with the little balls and a little pump. But the problem is the pump, I've had to replace the pump a few times. And the other problem is that you have to stick your hands in the water and pull the sucker up to clean the filter. And as I'm getting older, I don't really feel like sticking my hands in the water. And by the time it gets to the point where you have to change the filter on it, or clean the filter, you don't change it, you clean it. The water is usually pretty mucky. So you're sticking your hands in there and you're hoping that there's no snakes or any other type of animal inside that water. So I decided to upgrade. And what I did was I bought a new pump and a new filter, and that led to other purchases. So this is what I got. First of all, the pump and the filter both required an electrical outlet, and I only had one outlet, so I bought this to go outside. It's a 6-outlet outdoor power stake with protective covers and a 9-foot waterproof extension cord. So I put this in next to the porch, and not only does it have enough spaces for the pump and the filter, but it also gives me a place if I want to plug in any lights or any fans or anything else out there. Now, what I liked about this is it did come with an extra stake, just in case one breaks off. And this, like I said, it's got a 9-foot cord. It plugs into a standard receptacle. It has a light switch that you can turn on and off. Okay. There's the information on it. All right. So I had to get that. The next thing I got was this Fish Mate Pond Pump. Anti-clog filter design, low running cost, pond friendly, includes 4 sets of fountain options. You can either use a bell, a column, a plume, or a tiered. Or you can plug it up and not use the extension at all because it's got 2 areas where the water pumps out. So like one can go to the filter and the other goes to the waterfall or to the fountain. So that was easy enough. The information on the back tells you how to work it and gives you the information on what pump rate to go. You can control the how the water comes out. You can control that by a little knob on the side. So I got that. Next thing I got was this Fish Mate UV plus Bio Pond filter. Combines a UV light and biodegradable biological filtration for crystal clear purified water. This is easy to maintain. It's got a frost-proof chamber, but they still recommend that you bring it in during the winter, and it does have a 3-year guarantee on it. So this is the information that's on the box. And here's the pictures of it. The water goes in, and it's got 2 outlets where the water comes out. And you can either put it next to the pond so it goes right straight into the water, or you can put hose out. Now I chose this option because if this falls into the water, it's no good. It'll short out the electrical. You need the electric for that light bulb. So this is all the information on it. And I also had to buy some tubing because this takes an inch tubing here and 1.5 inches here. So this was not a cheap filter. I got it on sale. So that's basically the only reason why I bought it. So I'll show you how I set it up. Alright, this is what the pond now looks like. I still have the waterfall going, but I do need to clean the basin out yet. I haven't done that because I need to do some weeding back there in the back so I can get to it. But I do have the tear fountain going. The pump is directly below it. And I could turn the fountain off and just put a plug in there, but the fish seem to like the fountain going. So I'm letting that go. Now, then I haven't got any coverings on these yet, but this is the way it works out. The filter is on the porch, away from the water so it doesn't get knocked into it. And I have the interlock tube going from the pump on the water, and it comes out and goes into that's a smaller tube. And then there's 2 outer tubes that come out. I got one buried in the water and the other one I've got on the edge. That way I can see how much water level is coming out and know that it's working without having to pull the tube up each time to check it. And what I'm going to do is landscape this by putting some rock around it, and still going to be accessible, but you won't see the tubes so much. So this is what I've done. Now I kept the old filter in here because, like I said, in the winter they suggest that you bring the pump and the filter inside, turn it off for the winter. And I like to have the water circulating in the winters. I usually leave the waterfall go. So the old pump and the old filter is hooked to the waterfall, and that's what's creating the waterfall. The fountain and the filter, this filter is connected to the new pump. So come winter, when we get our freeze warning, then I will take and pull the pump and the filter and bring those into the basement for the winter, and bring them out again in the spring after the danger of the freezing is over. So hopefully this will work well. I've noticed the difference. I put this in last Sunday, so it's been running for 4 days, and I can now see the top ledge all the way down to it. I can see the fish clearer, so I know it's working. And it had quite a bit of algae floating on the top when I started, and that's all gone. So now it's just working on clearing the water. And it'll help when I get that algae that's in the waterfall. When I get that out, that would help also. But I noticed that the algae that was growing, the string algae that was growing on the sides, most of it's gone. So it's working. It's doing its job. So I'm happy with it. And what I'm happy about most of all is to clean the filter. All I have to do is lift that, pull that filter out, rinse it off in the pond water. I know I'll probably get a bucket of water out of the pond and rinse it in that and then toss that water. But you don't use regular water to clean these. If you do, it kind of defeats the biobacteria that you're wanting to keep. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a light back there. That's what the water goes in. It goes through that light. Oops. It goes over that light, comes out here, and goes through the filters. And underneath the filter are some little balls like that. And that filters the water. And it goes back out. And I might have to clean this before much longer because, like I said, it's been working for 4 days and it's doing a great job. Well worth the money. So, only thing I gotta do yet is, like I said, weed back there. Now I'll still have to pull this other filter, but I shouldn't have to pull it as often in the summertime as I did before. And as long as this one's working, it gives me a backup, because my problem with the old filter is that every time the electric went out, it would not start back up. So I would have to beat on it to get it to start back up. So it's a backup system for my filters, and that way I'll have 2 filters, 2 backup systems, and it's going to work fine, I'm sure. So if you're thinking about doing a fish pond, I highly recommend this filter. It's so much easier than having to stick your hands in and pull the thing out and clean it. So remember, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Dream big and follow that dream. Bye, everybody.